Rock by Gospel Radio. We're your host is Evangelist Green. You know, Satan tried to stop me, but God held me bound. Amen. Tried to not let us go on, but we're here, and I thank God for that. Welcome and good evening. We're your host is Evangelist Green. This is I. Please join us Monday through Friday from 9 to 10:30 p.m. and on Sunday mornings from 8 to 9 a.m. and listen to what Reverend Green is going to be speaking about. Our nightly discussions, you can join us by calling in 917-513-0939 or 718-300-1772. You can call in, voice your opinion, ask questions, or just say hello. Amen. Or on the radio, you can download the app in the Play Store or the App Store. You can also go to Google and search for Rock Vibe Gospel Production and listen or watch live. We also stream on YouTube. We have Roku. We have Facebook. You know, come on in on Zoom. Just join us. Watch live, whatever you want to do. For those who would like to make a donation, please do so by going to Cash App and type in Pastor Pastor GO2 or by Zelle and you can type in Flimpo1 at Verizon.net. That's F as in family, L as in light, I as in ice cream, M as in Mary, P as in Peter, O as in Oscar, the number one at Verizon.net. You are welcome to join us in our multiple platforms. May God continue to bless you. Just come on in. If you don't have anything to give, you know what? That don't stop you. Come on in anyway. Okay, and just listen in. You have music, you have discussions. You know, on Wednesdays we have Dr. Akins come on, and we just have a lot going on right now, and we got it together here. You know, and thank God for each and every one that don't, that like to come on and participate or just listen in. Just thank you for all of that. Happy birthday, all born into the last day of April. Oh my goodness, the last day. Happy birthday, happy anniversary, um, all that good happies. Amen. And just wish you many more happy and healthy happies of whatever you're celebrating. Okay. Tonight we have Dr. Akins coming in. Welcome each and every one that's on Zoom. And if you'd like to join us on Zoom, you can come on in at 829-600-2407. And the password is number five, lowercase k, capital ZXZ, number six. Okay, come on in and watch the slides that Dr. Akins have for us. And just, I'm not going to tell you to sit back and relax because if you sit back, you may fall asleep. And we don't want you to fall asleep. We want you to listen to what's going on and watch what's going on, okay? So, anyway, Dr. Akins is all in your hands now.
Yes, ma'am. Well, good evening, great evening to you, to Dr. Green, sir. Big salute to you. I appreciate you for allowing me to be here once again. To everyone in the Zoom room and everyone that are listening in on the multiple platforms, we appreciate your attention. We're going to pick up where we left off last week. We've been dealing with getting unstuck, which is our our lesson. But we've been talking about a number of things, but in particular, we're talking about how to get started on working on this this 8 month exercise that we have that everybody's welcome to participate in. It's not mandatory, but it's a way to begin to begin to focus on have some focus areas where you can begin on trying to better each aspect of your life. And so we, by request, we did a little of a deep dive into each one of the categories. We were able to get through the first four, and we'll try to cover the next four tonight. We talked a little bit about personal growth. We went into some of the exercises that you can do over the 30-day period. We talked about productivity as well. We covered family and we covered health. And so, as I get ready to get started, I'll take any questions that you may have over anything that we talked about last week. Because guess what? Tomorrow is May 1st. So, whenever you get ready to get started, tomorrow is the day. So, whichever focus area you want to begin in, it's totally up to you. But we want to get off to a good start and we want to maintain some momentum throughout. Remember, you're going to be journaling throughout this process. And then you can always check in. Like I said, when we get toward the halfway mark, you can check in and see how you're doing. We can have a discussion, figure out what we need to adjust, any type of adaptations we need to make, or whatever the case may be, to get the best results that we can get in those 30 days. And then we're habit stacking, right? So after those 30 days, we're not stopping. We're just taking a new habit and stacking it on top of the one that we create, and we get better and better throughout the 8-month exercise. All right. Any questions on personal growth? Any questions on productivity, family, or health?
If anybody on Facebook anywhere have any questions or comments, please type it in and I can read it out. Go ahead.
All right. If you're listening on Facebook, if you've already decided what your focus area is going to be, just drop it in the line in there in the comments so that we know kind of where you're going to start. It's always good to know that, right? So we can support you from a distance. All right. Let's continue to move on. We're going to talk about love, okay, in the focus area of love, and you can pick whatever month you want to apply that to. And so some of the things that you can do, and again, I just want you to understand that these are just options that you can have, or some of the things that you can work on. But what we need to become more fluent in is our ability to use and speak apology language. Okay. And so within the month of love, that's going to be our focus area. It's going to be one of the things that we're going to be focusing on talking about, right? And so utilizing or using the apology languages. And I think it's important for us to understand what each one of those are, right? So understanding how important it is to express regret when you do something that you should not do, right? So an apology language is expressing regret. That's one. Number two, because they're five. Number two is accepting responsibility, which is something that we should all do, right? Express regret. And then also accepting full responsibility for the part that you played in the negative outcome, right? Also, number three is making restitution. And so you throughout that month, you're going to be looking for opportunities to do that, right? And you can go back as far as you need to go, right? In order to be able to practice that. But you're making restitution. You also be genuinely repenting throughout the month, not just to the Most High, but to men also. And number five, requesting forgiveness, right? So we need to understand how important it is for us to practice forgiveness, and also, like I said, using the apology language that you should be using throughout that month. Okay. There's some other things that you can do. You can reach out to someone new every day. All right. So reach out to someone new every day. So you got a contacts list, whether that be via email, your cell phone, or however you do. You want to reach out to someone new every day and express some love to that person, right? So you look at your contacts list and look at all the people that you have, and you want to reach out to someone new every day. Okay. So think about that month or whatever that month is. And remember what I said, if you organize, it'll help you out. If you get your little calendar or whatever, and you can pick you out 30 people, right? Pick out 30 people and have you some alternate names there just in case you can't get in contact with somebody. You can always drop another name in there and you just reach out to that person and express some love to that person, right? And you pick somebody new every day. You put those names down and you can kind of really map out what time you're going to make those calls or whenever you're going to reach out or however you're going to do it. I'm not going to try to micromanage the process, but let you know what you can do. Okay. And then you can do what I have is an acts of kindness challenge. So that month, and I actually have, an act of kindness challenge that I actually do in an exercise with clients where it tells you something different every day. And you have to do that every day for someone. And it will fill out all the days. And I will tell you like what you would do each day or whatever the case may be. And then you kind of, when that day comes, you just be prepared to do whatever it is on that day. But again, that's something that I use for clients. I'm not going to go through that today. I'm just saying you can do something like that, um, and and then get a lot out of that every day. So that's what you're focusing on. Okay. So making your relationships more loving throughout that month. And those are some of the things that you can do. Any questions on that?
Anyone on
My
Facebook?
computer went out for, you said there were five. I got restitution, repenting to God and man, requesting forgiveness, reach out to someone every day, express love, and acts of kindness. What was the first one?
The first one is expressing regret. The
Okay.
second one was accepting responsibility. Those last two weren't a part of that. So expressing regret, accepting responsibility, making restitution, genuinely repenting, and requesting forgiveness are the 5 apology languages.
Okay.
The other stuff was just some additional things that you can do.
Okay.
All right. Any
Mhm.
other questions about that as we try to work through that?
If there's anyone on Facebook that have any questions or anything they want to say, kindly type it in, and I will read it out. Okay.
Yeah, and again, like I said, it's like I talk to my mom all the time, you know what I mean? And so she kind of knows everything that kind of goes on with me for the most part, right? So, um, but she can attest to a lot of things because I don't necessarily talk a lot about them. I'm really kind of to myself for the most part, but she and we have a lot of conversations about the things that I teach and the principles that I follow. I have to embody the principles before I teach. And one thing I don't believe is requiring anything of someone that I'm not already doing, have done, or willing to do myself. I don't believe in that. I believe in embodying what I teach, right? So if I'm going to teach you about debt elimination, guess what I'm already doing? If I'm going to teach you about saving, guess what I'm already doing. So any of this stuff that I'm teaching you about this 8-month process, not only have I already done it multiple times, but I still do it. And so I like to speak from informational standpoint, but also an experiential standpoint, so that when you find those rough pots and those rough edges that you have, that I can help navigate you out of those areas because I've been there myself, and I've dealt with a lot of clients to help them be able to get out of that position as well, right? So we don't want to just say things that we're not doing. That's part of, you know, that's part of what we see a lot of people, especially people who are in leadership, they love to kind of do, is demand of other people what they're not willing to do themselves. That's not something that I practice, right? And so um, most of the things that I'm talking about tonight, I've already done at some point, and I'm still doing. And it's a beautiful feeling to be able to know that the things that you teach actually work. Follow me, because we talk about teaching and tools and training and techniques that actually work. And how do I know that? Because I've done them or am still doing them. Okay. So they work. And it always puts you got to remember, anybody like to experience the favor of the Most High? Anybody love that, right? Anybody like that? Okay. Well, in order to, the favor falls on the person who gets in position and stays in position. Favor is about the position that you're in. And like we have to understand it's our responsibility to position ourselves so that the favor falls on us. The question is what position are you in? Are you in the right position? And if you're in the right position, then favor will fall on you because of the position that you're in. Does everybody get it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll give you an example. Like I have 5 children who all experience the favor of the Father. Why? Because they're in a certain position that other little young people aren't in. So because they are my children, they're in the blessed place. So because they're in the best blessed place, the position that they're in causes the favor of the Father to fall upon them. My granddaughter, the favor falls on her because of the position that she's in. Does everybody see how that works? So you got to get in the right position. When you get out of position, then the favor no longer falls on you because you're not in position. Does everybody get it? And so the question is what position that you're in. And if you're not receiving or experiencing the favor that you want, whether it be with the Most High or men, you have to get in the right position. Does that make sense? All right. No questions. All right, y'all make me work this whole night. Where's Dr. Green at?
He's there.
All right. Come on, man. I need you to come through for me tonight. All right. So let's talk a little bit about work. Okay. There's some things that you can do. Um, and I'm just going to give you some ideas of some of the things that you can work on throughout the month where your focus area is work. One of the things that you can do is set up some of the things that you can do for each day. And like for Mondays, right? Because remember, we want to itemize our 24 hours each day, make Mondays look like Mondays, and we're going to mirror, right? And so you really got to work on that to get better organized so you actually know what time it is, so that you know what you should be doing at any given time. But one of the things that I do is like I have different things that I put together. One being like you may have like a motivational Monday, right? And so that's something that you do that's all about motivation for that day. So you find some things that you can do on your job. So start thinking about the work that you do and separate your work from your job, right? Your job is what you're employed to do. Your work is what you were born to do. And so you can break those out into two. And there's some things that you can do on your job for that month that are motivational. So find something motivational to do on your job, then find something motivational to do in your work, right? And so you can do that on like motivational Mondays. Another thing you could do is
We'll be with you soon.
okay, sir. Appreciate you, man. All right. So what you could do on Tuesdays is like you could have Tidy Tuesday, right? And you can find something catchy to do, but you could do Tidy Tuesday, and then you can find something that you really want to work on, right? So find something on your job that you really need to clean up. It's a file folder that you need to pay attention to. You got some things you need to delete or whatever. If you're working around the house, you find something that you've been working on and you really need to get that done. So tidy up on Tuesday, right? So motivational Monday, then you tidy up on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you have winning Wednesday. So find something that you can alter or change in your workspace or on your job that will help you win, right? How can I get better positive results out of what I'm doing, right? Because I've been losing in this area of life or whatever, and I want to become more positive and more productive in that area. So, I take that winning Wednesday to work on that. And then transformative Thursday, so I could work on something there as well. So like you could do that, like focus Friday, something you can focus on. Uh, those are the different kind of things. So you could do that throughout, even Saturday and Sunday. You can come up with whatever catchy little phrase that you have for that day, so that you can remember it, and some things that you can work on while you're doing your work. But during that month, you're really working on your projects, things that you wanted to do. If there are things around the house that you wanted to work on, or things on your job that you really wanted to work on, and you had never really gotten around to it, you can do that also with your work as well. Um, Power hour sprints. That's what I like to call it. Power hour sprints. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So power hour sprints is something that you can do. And that means all right. So that means a power hour sprints means I'm going to go all gas, no brakes for 1 hour. And you want to have a power hour sprint like every day, right? And it's something work related. So that means for that hour, I'm going to go hard in one particular area with no distractions whatsoever. That means phone either gets turned off or put away, right? I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to focus on that one thing that I'm working on, and I'm going to go all gas, no brakes for 60 minutes, right? And I'm going to work really hard during that time to get that done. And again, power hour sprints are good. You can use those. And like I said, you got to build those into your schedule so that they're used at the right time. And so you might have to adjust it depending on what day of the week it is or whatever you got going on once you itemize your 24-hour a day. But you want to have a power hour sprint during that time. Okay. So that's something else that you can do. Here's something else that you can do that's fun. You can work in a different location. Okay, work in a different location. So again, you may not be able to do that on your job, or you may be able to do it on your job. It just depends, you know. You may be able to work in a different location on your job, or if not, when you get home and you start your work, then you work in a different location. So instead of me working here at my desk, I can take my laptop and I can go and do my work on the back patio, right? Change up the location, right? Go work in the dining room, go work in the living room, go work somewhere else, and see what that does for you, right? And again, you're journaling, you're looking at it, right? Does the change in the environment change the way you work? Does it change your level of focus? What does it do? Is it positive or is it negative, depending on that, right? So it just depends on what you're working on at that particular. Like sometimes you can take your work and go to a Starbucks and sit down in there and do some work there, right? Puts you in the path of other people, your opportunity to be able to witness, to talk to other people about things, to network or whatever the case may be. Go to a local park, go park by the water and work in the car, right? So there are a number of things that you can do um, to spice it up during that month while you're focusing on your job or your work. Rearrange your workspace weekly, right? So find something in your workplace. Now, again, notice what it says, rearrange your workplace weekly. So that means every week. And I can do it like maybe on Friday, so that when I come in at the beginning of the work week on Monday, everything looks a little bit different, right? And so you're constantly changing around. So that means if you're changing around for that month, you're going to make at least 4 changes, right? And if you make at least 4 changes that month, then you can be able to look at, well, out of those 4 changes, which ones actually work best for me and which one actually made me more productive, which one that I like best, whatever the case may be. And then you stick with that one if that's what you want to stick with, right? So something that you can do. Again, like I said, network on purpose is something that you can do also. Is to build in the opportunity to go out and meet more people. And that's something that we need to do more of anyway, right? Because it's hard to serve people when you're not constantly connecting with people. So that's something that you want to do. You want to connect with people because networking is important on multiple levels. It's spiritual level as well as natural. It's for us to be in communication with people often. Okay.
Anybody here on Zoom, on Facebook, would like to have a question or make a comment? Type it in, please, so it can be read. We're watching and listening to Dr. Benjamin Akins. Okay, he's talking about things that can be done for the 8 month, um, some things that you can do out of your life. Okay, within the 8 months, changing things. So if you don't understand, if you like to come into Zoom, you can come on in and you can come in at 829-600-2407. Passcode is 5 lowercase k capital ZXZ number 6. So you can also watch the slide that he's talking about. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. Hello there, my brother Richard. How you doing? Hope all is well. Okay, doctor, we're ready for you.
Okay. One of the last things I'll talk about is
Excuse me, that
yes, sir.
did not see my face as yet. But anyway, I like the concept of changing locations. I like that concept, changing locations,
Yes, sir.
because it works for me.
Okay.
It works for me. I'm just kind of taken back. Yeah, I don't hear anybody jump on that one, but it works. To
Yes.
all who's listening, please try it. It works. Changing locations when you're on your laptop or your iPad or whatever, doing um, work that is of importance. It helps. It helps a whole lot. It helps because number one, it changes that um I don't want to call it stressful, but it changes that dormant stand that you take sitting at that desk constantly, looking at the same things that might be out of place, or, that empty space. Now you can look at the trees blowing in the wind or the birds flying by or something. It makes your workload lighter. All right. I hope somebody will jump on that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So what we're talking about is effective ways to get unstuck, right? And so that's what we're doing. So some of the things
Can I jump back in that?
Yes.
I see Sister Carol smiling. you know,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. You did great. You were right. I was just smiling. I was thinking myself, it just makes the atmosphere different. It
that's
just
right.
everything a total different look. Yes, so you were right.
Okay. I'm on to something. All right, Doc.
All right. Something else that you can do to aid you during this process is make you a beast mode playlist. Make you a beast mode playlist, right? So remember when I said you want to be able to do your power hour sprints, right? And so you're going to be working hard for that 60 minutes because that's what we want to do. Want to go 60 minutes hard, and then you want to take a break or whatever the case may be, right? But you need a beast mode playlist. So it's going to be something that's going to get you energized. It's going to be something that you can listen to that'll really get you fired up to work hard for that 60 minutes, right? And so find you some good tunes or whatever the case may be, and that keeps you inspired and keep you focused and working hard. These are all things that you can do as you focus on your work. So you want to maximize your ability to get your work done. Does everybody get it? Right. So we're focusing in on our projects. We're getting work done. And we want to be, it's kind of in alignment with productivity, right? And so but productivity is a little bit different, but you can, sometimes it's how do you stack it, right? If I do work in May, I can do productivity in June, or I can do productivity in May, and then I can do work in June, and then you'll have 60 days of really getting a whole lot done. And so, like I try to think about when I can get most of my work done. So if you live in a place like I do, where you got to deal with cold climate and things of that nature, I wouldn't want to do work in December because there may be some outside work that you need to get done and you won't be able to get it done because there's snow all over the place and all this kind of stuff. If you live in Florida, it'll be completely different. But what I'm saying is because you're structuring it, you got to consider all of those things. And so if you really want to be effective with, your focus area, you've got to consider all things when you make your plans. Everybody get it, right? So it's just making sure that you're intentional and responsible about the things that you put together. All right. Any other questions about work?
Anybody here on Facebook have any questions about work? Please type it in.
Don't make the mistake as some people make, and that's not doing anything on a particular day. Every day you're working on your focus area, right? So you're not working on your focus area all day, but you're working on it every day. Does that make sense? Because when you go back and you look at what you've journaled, you should have some data there. And if you do have a coach, I will tell you this, and I can speak to this for me. Those individuals that I coach, they understand that I take my job very seriously, and I have high expectations of the people that I work with, right? And so if you're unwilling to do the work, especially and my clients are paying clients, right? But here's the thing: I don't need your money. Money is just the only reason why. Listen, you get nothing in life for free. That's not the way it works, right? I've talked about that before. So at the end of the day, you have to be willing to invest. The scripture says, buy the truth and sell it not. It does not matter what kind of knowledge or training or tools that you receive, you should be making an investment to get that information. Right? And so when I work with a client, they're not like Carol probably she heard me say this before. If she's paying me, then she's paying me not to be working with anyone else. Like she's not paying me to work with her. She's paying me not to be working with anyone else during the time that she has allotted with me. That's what she's doing. You follow me? So I've got to take my time and give it to her, and she has that slot. That's how it works, right? And so at the end of the day, if Carol is unwilling to make that agreement, because we start every session with agreements, and if she's unwilling to make the agreement, which means that I'm going to give you information and instruction that leads to positive results, and I have a high expectation for you to do exactly what I'm telling you. That's it. Because I don't want you to waste your money, and I'm not going to let you waste my time. So I'm not going to try to coach you against your will. You have to be willing to do this. Because becoming is about what you can do, what you're willing to do, what you're ready to do, what you choose to do, what you commit to do, you are. So you will not become without that process. And if you ask me to assist you in that process, then I have an expectation of you to do the things that I ask you to do. That's the way it works. Or take your money and go somewhere else. That's the way it works. Because you don't pay me to stress me out. That's not the way it works, right? So I'm going to help you, but you got to help me help you. This is going to be, right, a peaceful, does everybody get that, right? This is going to be a peaceful transaction. So if you do have a coach, whoever's working with you, you need to find someone who can hold you accountable. But I have an expectation of you to go and get some things done. And you should be able to report back what you've done with a smile on your face. And you know what it'll help you do? Evangelist Green, it will help you be able to know how to give a real testimony. A real testimony should be you telling exactly what happened. Give me some real results. Tell me what you did.
That's right.
If I were to talk to you every 3 days or so, you should have 3 days worth of productive results that you can give me. And then I can take that data, ask you some thought-provoking questions. We can figure out where you are, and then we can help you to get where you really need to be. And then now you go back the next 3 days, you should be able to come back showing how, well, last week I was doing it this way. You helped me to make an adjustment, and now look what I'm doing. Oh man, that's awesome. Keep doing that, right? Right? Or you say, well, I've been doing this, but in this area right here, I'm still not quite there yet. What do I need to do? Okay, well, let's do this, right? And then we're constantly, and then before you know it, you're right where you need to be. Because at the end of the day, coaching is not therapy, right? Therapists treat you, and therefore you need to keep seeing them. Coaching is different. Coaching provides you with information and instruction that leads to positive results. Once you know how to get those results, you have the information, then you don't need me no more. So I have to teach you how to grow so that you no longer need me. You just check in with me from time to time, but you don't need me because you have me to help you get to where you need to get, provide you with the data, the information. And then all you need to do is go back to the information. You already know what to do. Just go back and remind yourself what we did. I'm just the person that helps hold you accountable, helps to teach you the things that you need to know, but I expect you to grow up. Does everybody get it? Yes, that's what it's about. The expectation is for you to grow up, to get to a point where you can stand on your own 2 feet and go be productive. And that's what the saints should be like. Do you understand? The expectation is for you to be able to stand on your feet. That's what you should be able to do. But like right now, we're not necessarily teaching people to do that. And that's what we need to do. Because people who can do that can help support a ministry. Not a ministry gets stronger. Why? Because the people are stronger. How can the ministry get stronger? Watch this. A ministry that have people who know how to personally grow and develop, they have personally grown and developed. They understand emotional, right, intelligence, and they're on the path to emotional maturity. That's personal growth. Those individuals create a healthy culture in ministry. People who are productive, people that you have taught how to be productive, how to start and finish what they do. People who can make a vow and keep a vow. Those individuals who do that and do that not just some of the time, they do that all the time. That's in their default mode network, is to produce just like that. So now when you make them when you put them in the choir, guess what? Y'all see how that works? When you make them musicians, guess what? When you put them on the usher board, guess what? These are the kind of people that you have. Whether they're leaders or whether they're followers, they all have the same kind of winning habits. So when you create that, this is what you have. When you create an environment where the people in your culture have healthy families, families make up the church. Does everybody understand? Okay, so when you have healthy families at home, those families come to your ministry and those families grow together. Those families pray together. They cook together. They eat together. They understand how to do recreation together. So, that's a very healthy environment. When those people come, they're healthy. They have healthy mental health practices, physical health. They understand how to eat properly. They understand hydration. They understand detox. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Yes. Very different. They're managing their health every day. They have their sleep patterns down, right? They understand that type of stuff. So whenever you need Sister So-and-so to do something, she has the physical energy to do it. When you need Brother So-and-so to do it, right? He has the physical energy to do it because he's not overweight. Does everybody understand? See that? Very different environment because people are working on themselves every day. When people understand acts of love, it's not hard for them to go out and witness. It's not hard for them to make a positive impact on people in the streets, people they come in contact with, because they have loving habits. And so because they have loving habits, it spills over into everything they do on their job, their families, their friends, when they're in Walmart, when they're in the grocery store. They have winning habits, and acts of love are attractive. Because the reason why our churches don't grow is because our people aren't loving. And those that get mad with me saying that, see, you got mad because that loving spirit you're not cultivating. Because if you were, you would agree with what I just said. We have to become more of a loving people, because with love and kindness are people drawn. And if we don't know how to do that because we haven't developed loving habits, there are things that we should do that make an impact on other people and make people want to be around you. They want to fellowship with you. They want to come worship with you. Why? Because of the way they're being treated. Treatment is important. When people have healthy work ethics, then I can give them a task and it will get done. It will get done. And the strange thing about this is that's why I say you have to be careful who you hang around, because you have a lot of believers with no faith. We talk a good game. You can make your mouth say anything. But when you start talking about the things that people actually have to go do, that's when people start looking at you like you're crazy. You know why? Because they don't have it in them. And if they don't have it in them, then they're going to think it's impossible. But yet they'll quote, all things are possible. They'll do that. But then when you start talking about what the work looks like, they give you the look like, yeah, but yeah. See, they're professional excuse makers is what they are, instead of actually going out and getting it done. We have a job to do, and we need to be proficient and efficient in that job, and we should be better at it than anybody else doing it, because everything we do, the scriptures require us to do it as unto the Lord and not unto men. Stop quoting these scriptures and not actually living by it, because that's what the word teaches. So that your output should be impressive. When you get evaluations, you should be top of the line. You should be the top 1 to 2% in whatever you're being evaluated on. Yes. See, but when you say,
sounds like a Sunday morning, Doc.
yeah. So when you say that, people, they look at you funny.
That's right. That's right.
Does everybody get it?
Yes, sir.
This is what we're supposed to do. Listen.
And this is what makes them mad too.
Yeah, when you enroll in class, that's what I tell my students. When you enroll in class, you're a student. I'm in 2 schools right now. Okay? Whenever I enroll in class, continuing to improve myself, right? Because if I'm gonna lead people, I gotta constantly be improving myself. And guess what? Every class I enroll in, it costs me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm willing to make that investment. Why? Because you have to be willing to do that to improve. And if I expect other people to do it, I have to do it also. So I'm constantly investing in myself, constantly investing in the work, so that I have good information to pass to other people. So now I'm in class, but guess what? When I'm in class, I will be in the top 2% in every class I take. It doesn't matter who's in there with me. I have a commitment to always do that. I'm going to do the very best I can when I'm in class. So when I talk to my children about, hey, man, you in school. When I look at their report cards, I ain't no hypocrite. I'm not expecting them to get good grades, and I'm not getting them. I'm not expecting them to have good grades, and then on my job, my appraisals and my evals are low, unsatisfactory, marginal, average.
So it's like you said, practice what you preach.
Yeah, sure. And that's easy to say. But most people have no results, Evangelist Green. They don't. They don't have any measurables. They have absolutely no measurables. And at the end of the day, when you're dealing with people, you should have some measurables. Watch this. Yes, I love talking like this. See, because if you're in the assembly and you know what the standard is, you shouldn't be afraid to roll out your credit score. Why? Because your credit score is a reflection of your discipline. See what I'm talking about? So you shouldn't be afraid to be able to roll that number out. So somebody can say, okay, you know what? So they're teaching me how to do it. And that's what you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid to be able to say, here's where I am, here's where, like, you shouldn't be afraid to do that.
Exactly.
Carol, you have something you want to?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I was just waiting for Dr. Akins to finish.
Go ahead. You're good.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to comment on work. So you were saying how people look at you funny. So where I'm at work, and I did this will last year, and because of the flag work, the section work,
Mhm.
it shows up very heavily with me today in my workplace. And it just flows so naturally. And it's me now. It feels so good. I don't like for anybody, I'll have a suite at my work, and I don't like for anybody to go in there in the morning before me because there's some things that I do. So Dr. Akins says, make a beast mode playlist. I play Empowered Mind, so it flows throughout the building and everybody hears it. I like to make my workplace look attractive with what I do and how it sounds. I like to make my environment welcoming. Let me see. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I have the brightest room in the building. It's the coldest in the winter and it's the warmest in the summer, but everybody likes to come and stand in my doorway. Um, so it's just what I do.
Mhm.
And everybody likes to be there. Everybody likes to be around me. You know, the people that are in there, they'll come and they'll speak to me numerous times throughout the day. They'll come in and they'll sit on my little bench just because they want to be in there. They want to be a part of that,
Mhm.
you know? So that's what I'm doing different. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
wanted to share
Absolutely.
that.
Listen, and here's one thing you have to understand. When you have standards and you step in accordance with those standards, you're going to produce results on a regular. And when you talk about your results, the people who don't have any
Mhm.
will say that you're bragging. I'm not bragging. I don't have anything else to report. What do you want me to say? These are my results. This is my testimony. So when I give my testimony, it's not going to be sad. It's not going to say, well, I'm struggling over here. I'm struggling. No, it's not going to say that. Does it mean that negative things don't happen? Oh, yeah, sure. Negative things do happen. But how prepared are you for those negative things to happen?
You have to be
Because they
prepared
happen
all the
to
time.
all of us.
You have to be prepared all the time for negative and positive, because it's
Yeah,
always
you have to
somebody.
be prepared for it.
Yeah, because somebody's always going to give you some negative feedback about you, whatever, you know. Talk about you, laugh at you, point fingers at
Yes.
you, or whatever.
Yes.
So you have to, stand tall and just do what you're doing, whether it's good or not. You can't satisfy everyone.
Yes. But in order for you to have that response, you have to forge that. You have to build that into your character because it doesn't just happen. You've got to build that because what happens to a person who doesn't build that is we react and not respond. That's what ends up happening. So if you're not constantly building the kind of character that will allow you to respond that way, then you end up reacting that way. That's what Christ was trying to tell Peter. Like, in order for you to get these results, there are things you have to do. There are things you there are things you must do in order to get these results. We think that they just happen, and they don't. In order for you to have a good attitude when you need a good attitude, you have to forge that. You have to cultivate that. So when you need it, it's there. But if you have a bad attitude every day, all day, and then when something happens, you can't expect for a good response. Does everybody follow?
Yeah, that's right. You have to put out positive to receive positive. Put negative out, negative will come
Yes.
without a doubt.
Yes. And so this is the reason why we're talking about things that you can do to help grow these kind of habits. So we have to have it because we are really good at saying what we should do, but where are your measurables? That's the thing, is at the end of the day, show me your measurables. Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for evidence. Show me your evidence. Show me the signs that you have. Okay? Let's talk about fun because fun is a part of it, right? That's a part about, listen, most people don't have good mental health. Have y'all noticed how many people have that are dealing with mental health issues today? And we need to understand mental wellness. Like that it shouldn't be taboo, but it is because most people don't understand what mental health is, right? And so because they don't understand it, they think mental health is the same as mental illness, and it's not. Right? So most people don't understand it. So whenever we talk about mental health, they put a bad connotation associated with it, but we all should be working on that every day. Philippians tells us what we should be working on to have, right? So in order for us to have that kind of mind, it takes cultivation for us to do it. But Philippians talks about how to get that done, right? And so we should know how to do it. But at the same time, if we're not doing it, we're going to have a negative posture. And many of us don't have the level of health that we need mentally. It's because we don't have any fun. There's actually zero fun and recreation in our lives.
So there's a question there.
What's the question?
One can feel healthy and strong and still be mentally challenged.
Say that one more time, sir.
Can an individual be well and feel healthy, but still have a mental thing going on with them?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
which they don't realize, but it's there.
Right, because wellness is a lifestyle. And so you have to slice that pie. So wellness, you have economic wellness, emotional wellness, physical wellness, psychological wellness, social wellness, spiritual wellness. So wellness, it's a whole, but it's broken down into pieces. Right? And so physically, yes, I can be well physically and not be well spiritually. I could be well physically and not be well socially. Like if you're well physically, but you have no friends, if you're well physically, but you don't get along with no family members, then you're very unhealthy in your social well-being. And whatever you're doing to get yourself in the proper shape, you need to get in the proper shape socially. You follow me? Like, so you have,
yes, so
yeah, you
in
got
other words, in other words, you have social,
yeah, spiritual,
right?
yeah,
Spiritual,
yes, yeah, psychological, yeah, that's your mental health well-being, right? Yeah, physical,
physical,
emotional, and economic. Yeah, everything else in life falls in one of those categories.
And that falls under the umbrella of okay, that falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, because I call it the 6 elements of the whole person concept. Right? And so when you're talking about yourself holistically, one of the things it's like you don't want to become guilty of patting yourself on the back because you're good in one area. Like that's why I say you got to look at your life wheel. If you look at this diagram that's on the screen, that's a life wheel. And if you notice, the 1 through 10 goes to every category, does it not?
Yeah, I'm just looking at that now.
And you're not a 10 in every category.
Mm-hmm.
So if your personal growth is a 9, that means you still need to improve in personal growth, even though it's a 9.
Yeah.
Is to be a 10. Well, you're not there yet. But like if you're just a 2 in family, being a 9 in personal growth doesn't help you. You've got to now go make some investments in family so that you can take that 2 to a 7.
Mm-hmm.
That 2's got to go to a 5. Do you follow me?
Yes.
And you got to look at your life holistically. That's why there's always something productive to work on. You know when the scripture says, watch this, does not the scriptures tell us not to think of ourselves more highly than we ought?
That's right.
Well, what do you think that means? Sister Barr may have a lot of cash. Her bank account can be overflowing, right? But what does her love bank look like?
Hmm.
If her love bank is insufficient funds, who cares that she's a billionaire?
Hmm.
So she can't think of herself more highly than she ought to think just because she's got her money right.
Wow.
Her love bank is lacking. So she should be proud of her money, but she should also be doing some introspection. She should be looking at herself. She should be looking in the accountability mirror and saying, I do my best, but I shall improve. Why? Because I still got some areas. If she's still walking around and not physically fit like she's supposed to be, right? How can she want a pat on the back? Her and her mama ain't even talking. Her daddy's not even talking. Her sisters and brothers not even talking. So her family relationships aren't where they're supposed to be. And she patting herself on the back because she got a little bit more money than everybody else. How's that work?
It don't work.
It doesn't. Does everybody see it? Right? So you always have something to be looking at. This is why the beam must always take precedence over the moat.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to look at what Dr. Green. Dr. Green need to look at his own life wheel. I ain't got time to be peeking over there in his work. What am I doing over there? Man, I got so much. I was very unproductive today. I don't have time to think about you. I got to get myself back on track.
That's right. We need to look in the mirror at ourselves.
Yes.
At our inner selves. Why am I acting like this? Why am I doing this? Why do they, feel about me? Why, what am I going to do? How can I change? What can I say? What can I do? Then, we can know how to answer our own questions once we look at our own selves in that mirror.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, though, is when you grade your own work, you're going to always be tempted to grade yourself on a curve. That's why you have to sit down in front of somebody who can tell you the truth when you don't want to hear it.
But then you have some people that don't want to hear it, even if you do tell the truth,
Well, that sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah.
That ain't my issue. That's your issue. You follow me? See so that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's easy for you to tell where the problem lies. Herein is the problem. So when I deal with my clients, that's what I tell them. I give you permission to be upset with me. But here's the deal. I can see you too. Yeah. You need a mirror to see what you look like. I don't. I'm looking right at you. You follow me? Yes, I'm looking right at you. So if I'm your coach, I'm saying, so You need to look at, if I say, you need to look at your face. I can tell you don't like what I just said. Look at your face. You know what you have to do? You have to go and look at it. I already see it.
Exactly.
I got a better vantage point than you do. So I see your nice nasty before you do. Does everybody see that? So I see it before you do.
Like my family tells me, your face talk a lot, dude. Stop talking so much.
You,
Whether it's good or not
well,
bad.
at the end of the day, what is your face saying?
Yeah.
It's okay for your face to talk. It's what is your face saying? What is it saying? And these are the things that we have to look at. But most people aren't mature enough to handle that negative feedback. Most people aren't mature enough to do that. Mature people can handle feedback because they know that is what makes them great. Does everybody understand? Yeah, that's what you need. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about funds. What are some of the things that we can do so that we can kind of release a little bit of this stress, so that we can come back and rejuvenate it? Right? How can we get ourselves refocused? We got to go have a little bit of fun, right? So here's some of the things you can do during that 30-day period. You can paint or draw something, right? Paint or draw something. It doesn't, and then so when I make recommendations like this and I say, paint or draw something, you know what you'll hear from people is, I don't know how to paint. I can't draw.
It's not all about knowing how to. Just do something. Like they said, just doodle something before you know you have something.
I thought he was going to say something like fishing.
Well, I just gave you the first one. I didn't give you everything yet. I just gave you
Okay.
on the list, right? But it's, we have to start off simple. Some of the things that you can just do, right? Unfortunately, most people taught themselves out of doing anything good for themselves. Doesn't matter what your name. They automatically tell you why they can't do it. Okay? So one of the things you can do is paint or draw something. Here's another thing that you can do. Most people don't know anything about it, but it's called adult coloring.
Yeah.
You can go buy adult coloring books. Yeah. Okay? Do some adult coloring. Crossword puzzles, you can do. Word find, you can do.
Yeah.
Trivia games, you can play. But some of us have a very nasty disposition because we don't know how to have recreation.
Boring.
And if we did some things that can release some of the unnecessary stress, it would make us a little more friendly. The scripture says those that look to gain friends must show themselves friendly. That's what the scripture says, right?
Yes.
Well, you gotta know how to do that.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah, like we love quoting scriptures, but then we don't know how to do it. We don't know how to do it. We know how to read it. We want to know how to produce it. Watch this. Something else you can do. Write a short story or a poem. Write a short story or a poem. These are all things you can do. So find your days throughout that month and start putting in what you're going to do on that day and then get it done. Okay? Here's another thing you can do. Make a vision board. Make a vision board. Okay, we got that.
Okay.
Here's something that you do. Go for a sunrise or a sunset walk.
Yes.
Now, there's some of us who have been living all these years and we've never seen the sunrise. All things that I saw the sunrise on a cruise ship. That was very refreshing. That was very refreshing. Okay. Picnic in the park. All things we know, we just don't do.
That's right.
And we wonder where the fun has gone. Okay. Visit a local nature trail. Since Bar just gave you one, she said fishing, right? You can do that.
As long as you don't live in Florida. Listen, 2 days ago, out on the interstate, we have a guy that's in the local area because we have alligator issues. There was a big old giant alligator. He was just wrestling him right in the middle of the median of the expressway.
Yeah.
So yeah, summertime and nature trails, no, is a no-go. That's a hard no for Florida.
Yeah.
Rattlesnakes.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to go get you an adult coloring book. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's some other things you can do off the list, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Fill it up. Fill it up with some other stuff. All right. You can try stargazing. Anybody ever did that before? Right? You can do some stargazing. For the women that's in my class on Mondays and Tuesdays, they'll understand this. Grounding. Yes, you need to know what that is. Some things you can go do. Right? You can do a nature scavenger hunt. All right, I'm giving y'all a lot of tips. Y'all should be writing these down. All right. You're not going to remember them all. You can host a themed dinner or potluck. So you can come up with a theme, right? And then you can do that. Like, okay, so like these are things that I even do, believe it or not, as a supervisor on my job, I incorporate the things that I teach into how I lead. So my employees can get the experience of what I talk about. But at the end of the day, like I talk to them and I'll say, hey, you know, what we're going to do is let's pick a theme and whatever that theme is going to be. And then I'll say, okay, so we're going to do a themed potluck and everybody's going to get something and make something, right? That's with that theme. And then we're going to bring it all in and then that's going to be our lunch. You follow me? Okay, think about how fun that is. Now, sometimes I'll say, okay, the theme this time is for everyone to make something. We got to find a recipe that's interesting to us, but we've never made it before. So it means everybody's making something for the very first time. And we do not know what's going to come out, what it's going to come out like. Right? And so we get to share that experience together. But these are all things that you can do to help with the morale. Right? Because good work has to be done all the time. But it's how do you create an environment where people can grow and thrive? That's what you're looking for, right? So host a themed dinner or potluck. Also, Watch this. Try home karaoke. You don't have to go out to a karaoke place. You can do home karaoke, and you can invite a few of the saints over, invite a few of the friends over, and do some home karaoke. See, we
That
never
works.
fun.
That works. We used to do that years ago. My wife can remember. We used to do that. Yes. Beautiful.
Okay. You can also plan a surprise for someone. So put that on your calendar for that month. Doesn't have to be their birthday. It doesn't have to be a special occasion. It doesn't have to be their anniversary. Doesn't have to be a holiday, but you can plan a surprise for someone anytime you choose to. Yeah, but see, we always have to be prompted to do something instead of just, hey, it's Sister Bar's day, and we're going to do something for her that day, and we can surprise her. And it'll be a bigger surprise when there is no holiday, when there is no birthday, there is no anniversary. She ain't expecting nothing. That's the best time to surprise somebody when they least expect it.
That's right.
Yeah, but we it's like it, man. I try to figure out like what we be doing half of the time.
That's right.
Say something. Talking about surprise, I just got a surprise just about a little before after we got on. We here doing this, and I got a text. I had received a text from the Ananias is in the church I attend, and it's a phenomenal woman, and they're going to do this for me. That was a surprise. I am speechless. I've never been honored like this before. So, when you do a surprise for somebody, it makes them feel good, you know? And
Yeah.
I'm sitting up here reading. They actually made a nice flyer and everything. Saturday, May 17th. I'm like, woo, really? They really going to do this for me? I've never had anybody do anything like this for me. That's a surprise. Now, I mean, that made my heart feel good, you know?
Yes,
So do a
absolutely.
surprise for
I
somebody
surprise
else.
you all the time.
You sure do.
Don't leave me out.
Woo, where should I start? Yeah, but yeah, doing a surprise or doing these things, some of these things like, potluck, and I've done a dinner with everybody bringing something with the first letter of your name, and then we have to eat this, and we have to present it. There's so many things that you could do, with each and every one of these things that you have, yet that you're speaking about. We
Sure.
can do it. Some things, like you said, nothing's easy, but as hard as you make it, but as easy as you have it to come also, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be easy, but it is easier when you actually do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got to do it. Some of us can remember like we've done it before, but when is the last time we've done
We've
it?
done it right.
Like those are the things we got to think about. Like we got to develop a new lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Kingdom culture is a lifestyle, and we have to develop a lifestyle that's interesting, a lifestyle where people actually want to be a part of it because it's unlike anything else that they've ever been a part of. But we haven't cultivated that kind of culture. So it's not interesting. It's not exciting. It's not something that people want to be a part of. And we should be working hard to cultivate that. All right. So there you go. That's some of the things that we can do to have fun or bring the fun back. All right. Any questions about that?
If anybody on Facebook have anything they'd like to say, please type it in. Feel free to type it in. This is not just people on Zoom. It's for everyone all over. So if you have anything you like to add in or anything you like to say or any questions or anything, feel free to comment so I can read it out. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Too late.
So let's go to the last focus area so we can end on time. So we're going to talk about money here and some of the things that we can do during that month that will help us to improve our financial position. Okay. Write this down. No impulse spending.
Mm.
So that means when you start working that out, you could say, okay, for the month of May or the month of June or July or whatever. We'll do no impulse spending for this month. Watch this. Here's something else you can do. Eat only home cooked meals, no takeout. See, watch how people already start talking to themselves and telling them how they can't do it. If you can't do some stuff like this, I know you ain't doing much faster. Like, come on, man, stop. Right? You can't do some stuff like this, right? This is simple stuff. No impulse spending, right? Eat only home cooked meals, no takeout. All right. So 1 to 3 days, this is where you want to go. 1 to 3 days for this next thing, where you absolutely have a no spend challenge. A no spend challenge. What do you think that means?
Keep your money in your pocket.
Don't spend any money.
Don't spend anything for 1 to 3 days. You get to choose. So you can't get gas. You can't do, nope, we ain't spending nothing. So that means you probably want to do that on a weekend, right? Where you ain't got to go to work and you ain't got to do that, right? But imagine, right? You could just sit there and say, hey, there's going to be no spend. We're not spending anything. 1 to 3 days. Okay? Just showing you some things you can do. Y'all ready for the next one? All right, here's one. I know. So you write this down. Carol, I want to see you do this. Cash only week. Okay. Cash only week. So here's what you do. You withdraw an amount for the week and leave your cards at home. So you don't get to take your cards nowhere for that week. You take out a certain amount of money, and then you got to live within that amount.
That's easy for me.
You sure?
Yes, sir. It's really easy.
Okay. Don't take cards. So that means if you got to get gas, you got to get it out of that money. If you got to eat, you got to get it out of that money. Whatever you do, it's got to come out of that money.
Yeah, we've done that. That's not too bad.
Okay. So cash only week, no cards. So you got to have some budget discipline if you do that. Meal prep Sundays. I say meal prep Sundays because that allows you to get your meals prepped for that week, right? For the work week. So do your meal preps because again, if you're doing the eat only home cooked meals, so you're not eating out. So you definitely want to meal prep because when you don't meal prep, that's a bad sign. What it'll end up doing is making you go spend money.
That isn't hard either. Especially for those who,
I mean, there's a lot of folks on here that'll be struggling with that.
A lot of people don't know how to cook, don't like to cook, don't want to cook. But for those
that sounds like a personal problem.
Yeah, that's a personal problem.
Yeah, that's a personal problem. Yeah, when you come to get coaching, it ain't about about being comfortable. Yeah, it's about seeing it and doing it differently. You don't get to say like, no, I don't like to cook. No, that's not how we're doing it. You got to, what's on the other side of doing what's uncomfortable. We got to get on the other side. So these are things that you can do, right? For those of you that are coffee folk, you make your coffee at home that month.
No Starbucks, huh?
Nope. No Starbucks, no Dunkin', none of that stuff. If you're that kind of person, then you make your coffee at home during that month. These are things that will cultivate discipline.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to cultivate discipline, but it'll also save you money.
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Something else you can do during that month is you can focus on canceling unused subscriptions. Because some of us got some hidden fees coming out every month and we done forgot about it. And them folks loving us because we not watching the road. Right?
The credit bureaus are really good with helping you find and get rid of those subscriptions.
Yeah, so that's something else that we can do to eliminate some of this unnecessary stuff that we have. Red lines going out. All right, here's something else you can do during that month. No cost entertainment only. What does that mean?
You can entertain without having to use money.
Hmm?
You can entertain without spending money.
No cost entertainment only.
Stay home.
No, you can do entertainment. Just it has to be something that doesn't cost you money.
Yeah, that's why I said
Window
it's
shop.
not too hard
Huh?
to do.
Listen, this stuff is not as easy as y'all making it out. Like, trust me, I've been doing this for 30-some years. Clients, this is not easy.
Music in the park.
Yeah, it sounds good, but it's not easy. Listen, you might, okay, so music in the park, tomorrow is the 1st. You got 30-something days to go with no entertainment. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's easy the first couple of times you do it, but then it's all based on what you're accustomed to, because that's what you're working against, because everybody's habits are different. So if you're the kind of person that you spend time every day sitting down and you a movie buff and all you doing is written $3 movies here and there or whatever, and that's something you do. Like, we can't frown upon what people do. Like, if they're not spending their money other places, but they spend their money here, then they're entitled to do that as long as they're not doing anything wrong. But the thing of the matter is, if they're a movie buff and that's what they do, and now they got to go 30 days, you follow me? And within that 30 days, they got to make an aggressive change. That's going to be difficult for that person.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, when you're doing these things, don't waste your time doing something that you already find easy to do. You have to challenge yourself by doing what's not easy. Does that make sense? Okay. During that month, also, you create a grocery list and stick to it. So if you don't write it down, you don't get to pull it down. Something else you can do is regulate all your services at home. So regulate your services. Regulate your water use. Regulate your electricity use. Right? And you can regulate that. There are a lot of ways that you can go about doing that. Pick a day and say, this is going to be the only day that I wash clothes. Some people, man, if you let your kids and stuff, you teach them how to do it, man, kids will be washing clothes every day throughout the week. If you're not paying attention, and that wash will be going all the time, right? And that's water. That's also maintenance, because that washer ain't gonna last forever, right? And that's washing powder, that's bleach, that's right, dryer sheets, like, and so you're making all that stuff adds up. So how do we regulate that stuff? Then you can also declutter and sell during that, right? You can declutter some things. Look in that basement, them lamps that you had 2 years ago that you replaced with some better lamps, and you got them lamps in the basement and you ain't either sold them or gave them to somebody else. It's time to declutter and sell or give something, one of the two. So these are things that you can do. Again, pick whatever you want. You don't care. But these are things that you can do while you're working on that focus area. All right. Evangelist Green, I got 3 minutes. So I'm going to yield back the balance of my time. I'll answer any questions that anyone may have. But again, as many times as I've done this with folks, it is not going to be easy, because here's what is easy. It's for you to drift back into doing what you've always done. And guess what? There's nobody there to watch you. There's nobody there to watch you. So when you start tomorrow, there's nobody there, because most people aren't going to know what you're working on. You're the only person that knows. And if you're undisciplined, you follow me? If you're undisciplined, guess what? You'll start, and by Wednesday of next week, you will already have missed 2 or 3 days. I'm telling you what people do. I'm not telling you, this ain't something I'm not making this up. This is what people do. Like, think about the last thing you said you were going to do for an extended period of time, and you actually still doing it. Yeah. If you say right now, if you want to say, I'm going to read for 15 minutes a day, let's see how many days you do that before you have an excuse for not doing it that day. We love to make it seem like things are easy, but they're not. They're very difficult. It's the consistency of the behavior that's the difficult part. It's, can I keep up with it? It's not that I know what to do and can I do it one day? It's, can I consistently do it? Can I consistently do it? That's the challenge. Okay.
Okay, Reverend Green, you have anything you want to say? No, not yet. Yeah, I guess you can't talk right now. Anyway, I hope all those that's on Facebook, everyone in that matter, to get started, get your journal, get a notebook, get anything, good writing pencil, a pen, a pencil with eraser on top to say, I'm going to do this another day, Sister Bar. And, do what you can do the best way you can do it, and don't worry about what people say to you or about you, because this is you, your life changing, so we'll do what we have to do the best way we can do it. And I'm pretty sure you can get someone to help you, be with you, and start with, what's that, personal growth.
You can start wherever you want.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you was on for the first time and you don't know what was going on, Dr. Akins has a 15 day 15-day challenge, right? That's what it's called.
8 months.
8 months.
Challenge. I'm sorry, 8 months.
30
challenge.
days.
Yes,
Right.
30 days. So each month you do something different. It doesn't have to be in order. You can do it any way you want, and just do what you can do. You have personal growth. You have
Productivity.
Yeah. Productivity. Yeah.
family, health, love, work, fun, and money. Just make something work within this, all these words here. Read for like 30 minutes to 15 minutes a day. Meditate. Do skill development. Build a hobby. Know what's stunting your growth. So look in the mirror at yourself and fix you. Listen to what people say to you about you and try to work with that. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be scared. As they say, don't be scared. Do what you can do. So yeah, let's try it. Can't hurt.
No. Hey, say it this way. Let's do it. Let's not try it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right.
There you go.
I have
Absolutely.
one question though. When
Yes.
we covered health, I'm going to start with that myself personally.
Okay.
Exercise daily, drink more water, have a healthy diet. But when
Yep.
you said digital detox,
Yes.
does that mean my iPhone and my iPad and my
Yes, ma'am.
computer just don't
It
do
can,
any of that?
no, it can mean that. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you the best advice possible. So digital detox can be what you want it to be. right? So if you like, you have to know yourself. And this is the time for you to focus on where you need to be more healthy. Are you addicted to your devices? Now, I'm not asking you to answer that question. I'm just saying, are you addicted to your devices? And if you are, right, this is the month to focus on becoming more healthy.
So how much time should I take away from the digital stuff in my life? Like 1 hour of the day, 2 hours, or as many hours as it takes. Do something different.
So here's what I say, Sister Bar. I would say begin with something that's doable and then grow, right? Because whenever you do anything, when you're seeing it and doing it differently, the goal is to set yourself up for success, not failure.
Okay.
Because if you set yourself up for failure, then every time you fail, you lose confidence. And before you know it, you're going to quit. So what you have to do is set yourself up for success and do what's doable, but just make sure you do it. Okay. Right? And so start with something simple, like let's say you're addicted to your phone. And here's one. I'm just saying, I'm just using this as an example. Let's say as soon as your alarm clock goes off, the first thing you grab is your phone and you start surfing. Let's say that's your issue. Okay. So we say, well, that's something you have to take a digital detox. So what you say is that from during this month, when my alarm goes off, I cannot touch my phone until a certain time.
Okay.
So I have to get up. I have to go do my freshen up. I have to take a shower. And I got to get all these things done, and then I check my phone.
Okay. I got you.
Right. And so that's an agreement that you make with yourself. And then you start off doing that. And then, you can say, okay, now I'm going to continue to do that. But then I got to take breaks throughout the day and say, okay, at this point, know how we have a cutoff for eating? You can have a cutoff at the end of the day. It says after 9 o'clock, I'm not on my phone anymore until, you know what I mean? So you go on a digital detox. And you can set that up however you want, because it's tough when someone else is mandating that for you, and we don't want to do it that way.
Okay.
It needs to be a decision that's coming from you, because it's more genuine and it's more doable.
Okay.
You don't want to be doing it because somebody's making you do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So you can do that. Like, some people need to do a digital detox from their television because they watch too much TV, right? And so they got to figure that out, And so it could be anything. Some people, they're on TikTok all the time, and that can be addicting, right? So we have to be careful.
Okay, because I get up 5:30 every morning, and I go to a prayer meeting from 5:30 to about 7:30. And then I try to go back to sleep until 9:30 and get ready for work to start work at 12 o'clock noon until 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
So I'm going to figure it out. Like you said, they'll get my notebook and I'm going to write it down. Yeah. And whenever you call, and I'll be ready to answer. Good days, bad days, whatever days it is, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, because listen, no heat, no judgment, no retribution. It's all about improvement. Everything it's not perfection, it's progression. How am I progressing? And so what you do when you give a report, it's not for the sake of judgment. Like, we're not looking at you, because I'm really the one that's here to help you, right? So when I see it, we got to find out what is blocking you, what is stopping you. And so as you document the truth about yourself, you start learning, okay, this right here is what this is about. You may have some triggers that happen throughout the day that send you to the phone, or that sends you to Netflix, or that sends you to snacks, or we got to figure out what that is. And once we can identify what those triggers are, then we can begin to deal with the root of those problems.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, ma'am.
I got you. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Dr. Akins, I just want to give Sister Bar a compliment. It's really good to see you shoulders to the top of your head on camera, because I used to see the top of your head and I'm like, well, where's Sister Bar? I don't know when you came out, but you're there. And it's like, I can see your whole face now. You're beautiful. It's like, hi. So you're in class now. So I just wanted to let you know, thank you.
You're welcome.
She came out
Wow. Yeah.
last week. You wasn't on last week, but she came out last week. She showed herself.
Hmm.
So
And I
yeah,
believe I saw the week before last, but tonight
yeah.
I just wanted to, say something.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Sister Bar, I'm pulling for you. I'm on you.
We all are. We
I
all are
got my
pulling for
notebook
you.
already. I bought a new book and I got my exercise machine. I bought a stepper. May my mother rest in peace. She had a stepper and I used it until it just conked out. So I bought a new machine last week. I bought the batteries. It's under my bed first thing tomorrow morning after church. 5:30, I'm on it. And if I go back to sleep to 9:30, I'm good. If I don't, God give me strength to make it through the day. I
All
got
right,
coffee to make it home.
all right, Sister Bar, I need you to help me help you. You ready?
Yes.
I want you to take a piece of paper or a sticky note, and I want you to write "keep stepping" on there. And I want you to post it somewhere that's close to your stepper. And every
Hmm.
time you look at that, you say, "That's Dr. Akins telling me to keep stepping."
You
Every
got
time,
it.
yeah, absolutely. I want you to look right over that little sticky or that little note you got. Every time you see it and say, "Keep stepping," that's me.
All
Right?
right. All
Absolutely.
right.
You don't have to overdo it. You just got to do it.
Well, when I started out, when I first got it from my mother, I started out doing 10 because I used my weights as well. And then
Mhm.
I got up to 50. And then that was like maybe 30 minutes. And then I got it to go to an hour. And it
Oh,
was like I had to leave for work at 4:30 in the morning.
yeah.
But by the time it got to like 5 o'clock, I was ready to go gun ho, jump in the shower, get out the way. I was on the job 6 o'clock, no problem.
All
All
right.
right.
And I
All right.
didn't need a nap.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm pulling for you.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. All right. The rest of y'all, I'm pulling for y'all too. So,
Yeah. Dr. Grant, do you have anything to say? Can you talk? No, I guess you can't.
I'm going into the security office, and so
Okay.
it's a beautiful program, and I'm very happy with it. And Sister Bar, I compliment you also.
Thank you.
All right.
You
So
got
Dr.
it.
Akins, have a good night, and
yes, sir.
everyone be safe.
All right.
Yeah, you be safe getting home too. So,
Mhm.
yes. Anyway, Dr. Akins, we really appreciate you again tonight. So hope and pray that everyone has will do what you have told us. You know, like you said, even if you don't do all of it, do something. Do something. That's right. So you got this. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, everybody enjoy the rest of your night, your day. Heavenly Father, we're here as humble as we know how, giving you thanks. We thank you once again for Rock 5 Gospel Production and Dr. Akins for teaching us and telling us and showing us on what to do and how to do. Heavenly Father, I ask you in the mighty name of Jesus just to give us the strength, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding. Heavenly Father, we ask you all these blessings through your Son. We pray. Amen.
Amen.
Everyone, we'll
Amen. See you all next week.
see you
Yes, ma'am. Good
tomorrow
night.
evening around the same time, 8:30. From 9 o'clock to 10:30. So you all have a good night. God bless you. We love you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right. Good night.
Good night now.
Recording stop.